koutou, ko hui mai nei ki tēnei whare o tātou. Ki te kōrero, ki te whakarongo, i ngā kaupapa o tō hapore, nau mai haere mai ngā rere tēnā koutou katoa. Welcome along to our public forum this morning. First up, apologies. I do have an apology from Mike Davidson. He has a Greater Christchurch Partnership meeting on at the same time, which he's at. But other than that, we are all here. So first up for our public forum today, we have Linda Goodrick. Welcome, Linda, from the Belfast Community Network. So I'll hand over to you to give us a rundown on what you're up to.
Oh, kia ora koutou. It's nice to see you all. It's been a wee while since we've been able to kind of even just see everyone like this. So it's a shame.
Koe, Linda. Tēnā koe.
Tēnā koe. I'll apologise straight off in case my 2-year-old Moko runs out from being tied down by Lee out the back. So she may come running through trying to find me, but we think we've got her sorted with Coco Melon. So yeah, we are definitely in these crazy times, and I'd be lying if I said we weren't all stressed to the max, really, along with our people we're working with and our children on our programs. And so what we're trying to do at the Belfast Community Network is share the load more. We've got a fairly new team over the last nearly coming up 12 months now, and we've brought in a wonderful social worker who worked at Stand, working with children in schools over at Bromley, and who also worked at a couple of years at OT. So, and we've brought in an ops manager, so Justine Belka. So she's sharing some of my load now, because it is getting too much for managers to try and manage all of this in the hours that we have, paid hours that we have. So I've been able to move my my desk trays from, you know, operations, marketing, social media, legal stuff, human resources, accounting and funding and supporting staff. Oh yeah, and we've still got to support our programs. So now we've got those over 2 desks instead of 1. So it's actually been a bit of a relief to have someone that's got the caliber and skills to be able to share this work with now. We're not quite in a job share. I mean, who wants a manager's job these days? There is no one. So yeah, so we're trying to split our teams as much as we can. It's near impossible when you're doing this, but I think we're just all in the same boat everywhere in the country and the world, just trying to do our best each day. So that's sort of where we are with our management side of things. We are definitely finding, yeah, our kids, there's becoming more needs. It's just, we thought the earthquakes were bad for Christchurch. I don't think that's got anything on what we're all starting to see now in the schools. The other day when I had our first day back we had 30 odd kids here after school, their first day back at school wearing masks, and we have never seen such out of control craziness from these kids when they arrived here. You know, so yeah, it's what we're all dealing with, I guess. And it's like our staff, you know, before people would sort of hide their, you know, they just kind of deal with their mental health stuff and go for a walk, but now it's kind of like everyone gets to work and just falls apart. And it's really tough. And these are all because we keep carrying the load of everyone, I guess. And so, you know, we're doing everything we can to look after each other, and we're finding, I mean, in this community development work, we're all really social people. You know, we like people, but we are finding when we go home at the weekends, we're kind of just shutting our gates and yeah, and just sticking with our whānau where we feel safe and it's okay. Yeah. So I think that's probably where we're at with this kind of stuff. You know, we're really working hard with our kids around the play, and active outdoor play is what we're trying to have happening absolutely every single day. And I mean, that came from the research that Helen had done with us a couple of years ago. So we've got sports activators in. We've just hired a young woman who's a cricket, plays for Canterbury Wizards cricket. So she's in here just providing sports and running around with kids after school, so that we've got them outside as much as we can, and just trying to get them to have a bit of fun away from everything else that's going on after they get out of the classrooms. So we've got Shakira, who is our new social worker. She's working hard with every parent that enrolls at the moment, and we've got so many children now. They've been diagnosed with ADHD and on medication. Of course, they have their medication in the morning. They get to us at 3 o'clock and it's all over. So we're trying to support whānau that way, and putting in programs and things there. So, yep, families, the parents are not seeing too much, but because, you know, a lot of the times the parents, they just come in, drop their kids off, and because we haven't really got that interaction at the moment with them, because it's really a drop off at the door and a pick up at the door. So it's quite hard to sort of see exactly where they are. But I think what we are seeing is they're all just doing the best they can. So like the rest. So I think that's kind of what's happening there. But our numbers are huge. So parents are obviously working and really need this program, because if they don't have the Oscar program particularly running, yeah, I'm not sure what a lot will do. So these are the highest numbers we've had in the Oscar program for probably 5 or 6 years from the start of the year. What else is happening around that? I think our work with the schools being pulled back a bit as well. We've because they're not really allowing anyone on site, which is fine. So we're not doing anything particularly this term. We're just trying to make sure what we are doing, we're doing it the very best that we possibly can. So, and the school's doing the same. So they're under massive stresses there with the building of a new school and all the planning that's taking as well. But we will, Shakira will get back to running the girls groups in term 2, we hope. We've lost our funding for our Bell Feast program, which was our lunch program that the kids were doing. So that's a bit of a shame, but during these times, it probably wasn't going to happen this term anyway. So yeah, I find the school is under quite a lot of pressure as they try to manage their way through everything. Cancellation of events, yeah, well, that just has been awful, and of course that's across the board everywhere. So it's just too hard for us to try and manage a public event as such. We just don't have the resources to do that. So even now, I really thought we might have been able to get away with our skate jam with Helen and her team, but we decided, Helen and I decided that wasn't going to be a go either this year. So we'll look forward to maybe something from Matariki. Who knows? Northwest Collective might try and pull something together, as we always say every year. But as far as Northwest Collective goes, we haven't had a meeting yet. Our first one will be in March. But I've had a quick chat with everyone, telling them that we were meeting today. And yeah, we're all just trying to do what we can do. So and I think the main thing is that we need to be looking after our teams, and that's what we're all really concentrating on, because if our teams aren't coping, there's no way we can get out and do any work as things worsen, which they will do. But Potter's Kitchen down at Northcote at the wee neighbourhood links building they were back last week. I think they were back, and this week they had just about had people on the road needing food, needing support. That volunteer group are doing an incredible amount of work with people. We've got Shakira down there on a Tuesday picking up the social work side of things as well. So they're down there twice a week. I mean, they'll always get the people who they go from place to place, but probably 30% of people down there are in absolute need around that Northcote area. And we'll see what comes out of that with Shakira next week when she's back in there. So it's been a wee godsend to have that wee facility for them to run that out, that we program out of. And they're probably doing, I think they did, we had Robbie here for lunch the other day, and I think they did 45 parcels of food went out on Tuesday, and 15 family packs that they call them, where they do bigger parcels. And then they'll do probably another 30 today. So that's a huge amount for about 4 volunteers doing that. And they virtually worked all through the Christmas break as well, delivering food as calls came in. So somehow we've got to, support them a bit more with being able to, when we have had some money from the community board, which is, but we're getting near the end of that now. So when I do my application, I will put something in for strengthening communities around, particularly around that work that's going on down, particularly just to get petrol vouchers for these guys, especially now as petrol increases are going crazy, because they're doing a whole pile of work. So I'll get something sorted out and let you know more when I do my strengthening communities and how we might be able to support them a bit more. I think that's kind of where we're at, I guess. It's just one day at a time. So I don't know if you've got any questions around some of that stuff.
I've got a question, Linda. Are you still being able to run the programs that you do for the older people at the moment?
Oh, yes, sorry, yes. So we finally started back with Simply Lunch yesterday. So that was a relief. We've got numbers down. We only have 30 on site for that. And at 5 to 12, we needed to shut our door, but we only had 2 or 3 people come in after that who got takeaways. So we're able to provide takeaway meals after we hit our 30. And that's because of our space and our social distancing, and gets as many as we can really fit in there comfortably. So they were an absolute joy to have back yesterday. And just that's 30 people who are just able to come back and talk to someone besides their 4 walls is virtually what's been going on for many of them. We did have to cancel our holiday programs we had planned. Our 2 big outings we had planned, we needed to cancel those. We just couldn't work those in January. So that was a shame. And we had tears on the phone from people when we were cancelling. And so but it was a joy to be able to actually do something yesterday. I feel like we're actually able to do that. We've got 3 who are unvaccinated, and we've tried our best to support as much as we can. So all we can really do is have a quick drop off of food to those 3 people each week now, and Shakira just does a few minutes sort of talk with them, and she's on the phone with them as well. But they've chosen not to be vaccinated, which is and now, it's very sad when, one of them's just sitting at home all day, and she's not doing or going anywhere because she doesn't want to get sick, but she won't have the vaccination. So We really don't know what to do with some of them. You know, we would love to put them in the van and be able to take them somewhere and give them ice cream at McDonald's even, but it's not safe for our staff member to really do that at all. So yeah, it's hard. It's really hard. But yeah, it was great to have them back, you say, and have our volunteers back, and for them to feel like they're finally able to do something again. So onwards and upwards, at least with that. Yeah.
Ellie, you've got a question, and then you.
Cheers, thanks. Linda, amazing work, man. You sound tired though, and you know that's quite clear why you are. But what phenomenal work. Like two quick questions. Firstly, if you look at the challenges that you're facing at the moment, how many of them could be addressed by having additional funding? So it's a financial issue. Or are there things happening such as the masks in schools and whatever creating stress that no amount of money would actually save? That's the first question. The second question is, are you engaging with or getting some support from central government with regards to MSD and some of the, you know, social services that can be offered there and support and perhaps even some funding?
Okay, thanks. There will never be enough funding to sort this out, I don't think. But if we need good people delivering the services, and they need to be trained, qualified people. So, you know, we're paying a social worker $29 an hour. I mean, she could be getting more, but she wants to work in community. But she's a well-trained who should be at least getting about 35. So money is always needed, and we need to pay decent wages because we're struggling so hard with the minimum wage. The minimum wage just increases and increases, and our staff who are running the programs with, you know, 30, 40 kids, they're on like $23. And our younger staff are on, you know, who are at high school are on $20.50. So it's pretty tough. And of course, we can put our fees up. The parents can't afford to pay much more than what they're paying. Anyway, so money will always be needed. And funding, we really want funders to understand that now. And I know the funding budget only goes so far, the funding pool. As far as MSD goes, I know within the Northwest Collective, the only ones who have government contracts are Te Ora. And that's because they're a massive they're big organisations compared to the rest of us. And they, you know, and as Simon knows, because we don't have the manpower to take on government contracts. So we get an MSD funding just for our Oscar program of about, I don't know, 18,000 a year or something like that. But the thing is, you know, the needs are getting higher, and we've had to bring a team leader in to run the Oscar program because there's just so many needs now, and our whole team has been engulfed in the needs that are required to look after those 30, 40 odd families. So we've just had to do that and somehow pay her, you know, rob Peter to pay Paul, as we all do. So as far as MSD contracts go, we don't have the time to even look at them. However, Justine she's the one that's been around the whole youth sector for a very long time, and is aware of a lot of funding. But at the moment, she's on 15 hours. So I'm dropping 5 of my hours to give her 20 hours so she can pick up some of that stuff. But I'll still be doing the same amount of work because that's the way it is. So MSD funding, no, it's too hard for us when we're in that sort of, we just that little middle ground of the big organisations, you know, but we're the ones that are right in the community. So there might be something out there, but we don't even have the time to look, to be fair. I mean, we'll grab things when they come, when COVID things come through, we've all grabbed those supports, and we're thankful for them, but they're not ongoing. And yeah, so I don't know if that answers.
Pauline?
Oh, yeah. Kia ora, thanks for that, Linda. Very sobering. And I agree with Ellie, you do seem tired and it's only the beginning of the year. God. So I've got two questions. First of all, when you touched on the volunteers doing the food parcels and you're wanting to get them some fuel vouchers, obviously it's at their cost at the moment. What kind of dollar amount are you thinking would be appropriate there?
I think probably to get them through, even like 1,500 would be a blessing for them.
Right, because I'm just thinking that strengthening communities is not.
I know it's not going to go through for September, and yeah.
And my other question is, I'm talking about the kids on medication, and this is a tough question, but would you have any idea around about the percentage of those kids that are on these meds?
So we've got about over 50 children enrolled, and off the top of my head, I think we've probably got 6 or 7 that are on medication.
That's quite a lot, isn't it, out of that?
Yeah.
And just one last question. Have you been to your MP about assistance with MSD?
No.
Is that Duncan or is it Matt?
No, it's Matt.
Matt.
Yeah,
Probably
yeah,
got
Matt. Yeah. I mean, I guess we haven't found any. You know, we need some time to actually look into MSD and see what's available. You know, and
well, I think what I'm trying to say to you is if you contacted your MP, that's a job they should do for you, and it may or may not eventuate into anything. But I think it would be worth a crack. Yeah. Thank you. Cheers.
Can I just jump in there really quickly, Pauline? Because Matt Ducey's heading the mental health work.
Yeah.
Right? He's extremely vocal about the importance of mental health. There's your springboard, I reckon. I know you're busy. Not probably. I mean, I'd love to be able to help if I can. I'd have a meeting with him, but I appreciate your point about seeing what MSD can offer. But Matt needs to put his money in advocacy where his mouth is, and mental health is his big thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Perhaps our board could write to him after this presentation and just say, look, we've heard from this group, they're under a lot of pressure. Could he contact you? That might be a really good idea. And
it's okay. I mean, we had about 3 meetings lined up last year that all just got cancelled. So no, I will contact him. And to be honest, he invited me up to his opening of his new building, but I had to put an apology because Judith was going to be there opening it, and I just couldn't go there. And I told him that.
I had a meeting with Matt Ducey last year. Elizabeth and I went out and met with him about this issue with our community groups and funding. So he is aware of the issue. So yeah, if you could you're happy to touch base with him, Linda.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, no, I will.
Simon, you were next, and then we'll go to Emma.
Thank you. Kia ora, thank you, Linda. I can always count on you to tell it how it is. So thank you for that. You've already mentioned it, and I would just like to acknowledge the importance of you looking after yourself and looking after your team, because if you're not there, if your organisation is not sustainable, you know that already. I know, but I just I want to sort of highlight and acknowledge that. Just secondly, I was down in Redwood on Tuesday morning this week. I think I might have just missed what was happening at the Neighbourhood Links building. Things were packing up, but there was a heap of people there, so really good to see that there's that facility is continuing to be used and that there's some good engagement. Good to see. So thanks for that.
Yeah. Cool.
And Emma, you will have to have the last question because we do have to finish up in a minute.
Okay. Hi, Linda. I'm sorry to hear the things hard in the community. I feel your pain. But I was just wondering, as a board, I believe that the COVID-19 Community Awareness and Preparedness Grant Fund is closed. Perhaps as a board, we could be writing to Duncan and Matt and suggesting that that is reopened again for community groups.
Yes, that was an interesting fund. If you got in quickly, like cricket clubs and things like that, you got it. And then they changed the priorities and all the community groups missed out.
Oh.
So we were declined. So so us, I think Mark was declined down at Empower. Yep. And yet Canterbury Cricket got money, and it was.
Well, they need it, Linda. They need it.
Yeah, I know.
I'm joking. I know.
I'm
joking.
Terrible. It was terrible. And I mean, I had, I was in discussions with DIA in Wellington. Like I had some contacts in there who were running the fund and overseeing the fund. I'm going, what the heck is going on? Why have we all been declined? Yeah. So that it just got overloaded at the very beginning with groups that shouldn't have got it, to be fair. Yeah.
Tell it like it is, Linda.
Well, it is.
Can we follow that out and put out a letter that we want to put out and then give it to the other community boards?
I don't know. I mean, that fund is done and dusted now, and
Let's take it offline, Emma, see what we can do.
Yeah, we'll take that offline and investigate that fund and if there's anything left and that sort of thing. Thank you very much for joining us today, Linda, and thank you for being so honest and upfront and like the others have said, just telling it like it is. We really want to support you in any way that we can, so do keep that communication open. I know you're keeping in touch with Trev, so yeah, thanks for all your hard work, and yeah,
it's lovely to see you all. Thanks for all your support you give us. Okay.
Thanks, Linda.
Ka kite.
Kia kaha.
Te.